How's it going, everyone? Data here, and welcome back to the Seattle Kraken franchise mode, episode number 22 on NHL 22, recording on Tuesday, February the 22nd, 2022. They say that 2-2s never lose. My personal number is 22. It's going to be a good episode. In the last one, your Seattle Kraken won the Stanley Cup, making it back-to-back championships as we took down the Carolina Hurricanes in 5 games after a 2025 rematch in the Western Conference Finals, once again going the distance, a 7-game victory over the Chicago Blackhawks before winning against the Hurricanes in 5, now improving our Stanley Cup final record as a franchise to 8-1 as the Hurricanes pushed us to 5, but we got the Leafs done and over with in 4 last year. It was a great time in the awards as well. Nathan MacKinnon winning the Art Ross, back-to-back Hart Memorial trophies, winning the Lady Byng as well, and the Conn Smythe getting his first as Tarasenko won it last year. It was a great season for MacKinnon. He had, 30 points more than the second place in the league with his 127, 25 and 22 in the playoffs. It was a fantastic ride for the Kraken, and we now have 2 Stanley Cups through 5 seasons. But now heading into year number 6, we have some issues with the contracts. Who's coming back? Who's going to sign for what? Who's aging? Who's the core? We have rookies coming up who are going to need some ice time. But I will spare you having to think about that too hard just yet because I don't believe we'll be getting there in that episode. In this episode, we'll just be doing the draft. It should be a very good draft. I've targeted a few players that I really want to make sure that we go after. Short mini channel update here. As you may have heard on the Discord server in a live stream, I may have mentioned that I am now officially finished my courses for university. All that's left for graduation now is 2 months of field experience in my chosen field, which means I'm working Monday to Friday full time, leaving the house at like 7, getting home at close to 6, so almost 10, 11-hour days. It's what I want to be doing. I'm very happy doing it, but it does mean that there's a little less time for YouTube. I'm still trying to get at least 1 or 2 videos out per week for the next couple of months before we go heavy again in the summer, but I do appreciate your patience and understanding for that. That being said, now let's head into this draft. It's going to be a strong one. Medium franchise players going first overall. We pick late, but I have identified some players that I want to go after. We have 7 draft picks, and I've identified 7 players. Pitkanen and Malihi here, the goalies in the 60s, they count as one, so it's only going to be one or the other. So we have 7 picks, 7 players. Obviously, some are higher than others. We don't have picks in all these places, so some trades will be required. And although we're not going into the re-sign phase right now, we do have to start thinking about decisions, because if we're trading a player's rights away, that means we can get a 6th or a 7th round pick back. And that's going to really help us when we're going after those 7 players in the draft. So with all that being said, let's dive into the comments. So in this upcoming draft, there are a couple of players who are NHL ready, which means that they're likely in the high 70 overall range. The team's already pretty packed, but it's hard to pass on an NHL ready prospect in the late 20s and early 30s of a draft when everyone else is 3 years away. Our scouts have uncovered the players. We should probably be going after them. Grievous said, great run. Can't wait to see the newest members of the Kraken after the draft. A left defenseman with elite/high top 4 potential would be huge for a Kraken team, only needing a few little pieces to become a true dynasty. Ready for more of Wilm on film, Peyton Hollywood Wilm, regardless of performance. Go Kraken. That's the thing now, because we're very close to dynastic territory, and to become a dynasty, you can't be really shuffling through players and cycling through them too often. We're getting to a point now where we're going to draft really good players and want to develop really good players, but may have to trade them away in big packages when the opportunities present themselves. We can't just have a million good prospects who never have room to grow. Eventually, you have to start choosing who's going to actually stay with the team and who was just drafted to be traded later on. That being said, moving to Jackson's comment. This playoff run was one of the most interesting ones I've seen on YouTube. It looked like Colorado had us on the ropes there in round 1, but Peyton Wilms showed everyone that he can take over for Big Ben Bishop. I feel bad for all the people who haven't found your channel. They're missing out for real. Thank you very much, Jackson. Very kind of you. But now, this offseason will be huge since some of the long-serving Kraken are beginning to age. Schwartz, Tarasenko, Trocheck, all in their mid-30s. Tarasenko as captain should stick around. I think everyone can agree with that. He'd like to see Popov getting a chance on the second line with Tarasenko and Matty Beniers. With that passing and puck handling ability, it's going to be a possible scoring resurgence for Tarasenko. Trocheck's still a great option as third line center if he's happy there, so don't really see anyone else in the system screaming to take his place. Maybe Ryan Suzuki, but that's something we could maybe think about in the preseason. I would keep Ryan Pulock as well. He's formed a strong chemistry with David Jiricek, that's true, and that presence will continue to help Jiricek grow. Jiricek's growth has been slow and steady, so having a consistent presence with him can help him reach that elite potential that he has. I would move Schwartz and Bean if possible for some mid-round picks so we can load up on high-ceiling prospects. It never hurts to have a stacked pool of prospects because not all of them pan out, and they're all good for trade value. Couldn't have said it better myself, Jackson. Thank you very much. Vinny sees the same issue with going after those NHL-ready prospects that if we do get those two in the first round, we'll definitely have to move out somebody since the lines are getting clogged enough as it is with other prospects wanting to have a crack at making the NHL. GM Data, you have done it again. I will make sure I spend my day with the cup wisely. Thank you, Vinny. I'm looking forward to hearing how you spent that day. And finishing off here with Aiden, who says, yes, sir, GM Data has done it. That's back to back. Couldn't have done it without the assistant GMs, though. Unbelievable performances from everyone. Wilm stood on his head. I say we keep this exact same squad together. Maybe a few depth moves, but other than that, let's go for 3. McKinnon had a great playoff series as well. Probably would have gone with Wilm as the Conn Smythe winner, but who cares? Seattle won the cup. Great season. Love the vids. Can't wait for the offseason to go back to back to back. Thank you, Aiden. So on a few of those YouTube comments, I did follow up with a few of them asking, what are our thoughts on Schwartz? Should he be the number 1 candidate to move? But he's been a huge part of our last couple of cups. Do we play him maybe on the third line, move up Popov? And just highlighting one of those responses, coming from Jackson again, he said that having a veteran third line with Trocheck and Schwartz could be really nice since they both have a couple of X factors. If the team is struggling and Popov isn't producing on the second line, then you have a built-in solution rather than having to go to the trade market. Asher Maloney and Vesa Heiskanen, prospects in the AHL, aren't quite there yet. We'll see what happens over off-season growth. So it'd be a stretch to expect them to make the NHL squad at this point. We'll see. Maybe a couple of NHL debuts are in the cards, though. Very, very true. Hopping over to the Discord server now, Sully, Old Man Sports, talking about Philip Gustafson's jump from an 83 to an 89 out of nowhere due to some solid numbers in the regular season. Maybe not, I guess not out of nowhere, but a 6 overall boost is something for someone with exact starter potential. He says that the jump is unsustainable at 28 years of age and is due to those nice regular season numbers. He's going to be a huge mistake for some other team in free agency. Definitely re-sign Ben Bishop at league minimum. He may not play, but he has earned it. Fully agree with that. Move up to the early 20s and take this hoss here, Rickard Bergenheim. Even if he isn't a superstar, that's 3 years of NHL play on an ELC. Helps the whole timeline. He's NHL ready. An early second, yes please, Calle Lundberg, medium top 4D, who's also NHL ready. Trade Bean immediately and get the cap space right. No room for him, and his value isn't complete garbage. Even if it's a 7th, it's addition by subtraction. More room for Trocheck and Schwartz. So thank you very much, Pat. And with all those comments being said, I think we're ready to hop into the draft. I think at this point, the idea for the franchise moving forward on paper, here's just me thinking out loud, looking at, main roster forwards and sorting by overall. We would go McKinnon, Marco, and Tuck again on the first line. Second line would be Beniers, Tarasenko, and Popov. Third line, Schwartz, Trocheck, and Mercer. Fourth line, Rolison, and then it would be some sort of mix. The last 2 spots would probably go to, it would be Suzuki and Lind, something like that, because Shaw's probably on his way out. I think Elanen's going to be on his way out. We tried giving him some NHL time. His potential's dropped to medium top 9 now. He was good. He's fine. It's just him, Barré-Boulet, a few players who just, I don't want to keep them buried in the NHL, in the AHL forever when they could thrive somewhere else in the NHL. So trading the rights to Barré-Boulet, Elanen, I think Mason Shaw as well, unfortunately, even though he's been good. And I wouldn't mind dumping, going back to main roster, someone else like Tanev, and we also have Bean. Gambrel, I would like to keep him as 13th forward. Rosean, I don't like putting him on the 4th line because he's been so good. In the regular season, when he was given that more third line-ish minutes, he had 38 points in 82 games, and in the playoffs scored 15 and 22. So that's why Schwartz being on the third line hurts a little bit. But it's really hard to not keep Jaden Schwartz on this team after he has been an integral piece of the last 2 Stanley Cups. He had, yeah, definitely a bit of a down year from 69 to 57, but he's still a strong playmaker, could still get those third line power play minutes, 15 power play points last year. It's just the contract that's going to be a bit expensive. So move out Jake Bean, keep a little bit of extra money. We'll see what we can do here at the draft. We don't have any picks right away, so I think what I'm going to do as soon as we hop into the draft is just figure out what are some trades we can get right off the bat. Curious to see if any of the top picks are up for grabs. That medium franchise player ready to go here. No, not until pick number 4. So the Blues will get that franchise player. Then Kings, Flames, the Western Conference coming out here in the top 3. Buffalo at number 4. They're willing to trade it. And then a lot of teams that want to trade their picks aside from that. So I'm going to take a few minutes here, go to the find trade, and see what we can get. First things first, it's no surprise that Jake Bean's a player we've been wanting to move for a while. We hung on to him for another season to see if he could get some value. He used to have like negative value. Now he seems to have some value. So if we're willing to trade Bean on the open block, there are offers. There we go. Wow, we can get some good stuff for him. We can get our 3rd and a 5th. So, okay, let me look through these. Yeah, it looks like 89 and 153 is the best. I think we can get a 3rd next year and maybe a 4th next year, something like that from another team. But I need the picks for this season. It's a very strong draft, and these are the best value picks. So to the Edmonton Oilers, Jake Bean will be going. He still has another 4 years after this one at 4.375. A good offensive defenseman who didn't really fit with our system. He played a lot of minutes in the first couple of years. An original Kraken from the expansion draft from the Carolina Hurricanes. Jake, we wish you all the best in Edmonton, but we'll take a 3rd and a 5th when last year we couldn't even get a 7th for him. So you know what? Actually, speaking of a 7th, I'm probably going to squeeze an extra 7th out of the Oilers here. A 3rd, a 5th, and a 7th, if you don't mind. Toss in 217 just for good measure. What do you say to that? Trade rejected. All right, fair enough. Well, what if we swap 7ths just for kicks? Here we go. I'll give you 220 for 217. Just that extra 3 picks. Who knows what happens with those extra 3 picks, right? Why not move up 3 picks just for free? So Jake Bean off to the Edmonton Oilers. Frees up 4.3 whatever million. And let's see. Actually, let's do the St. Louis Blues pick. Let's see how good that franchise player is. Going to the St. Louis Blues with the 1st overall selection in the 2026 NHL entry draft. 83 overall, medium franchise. What's this guy's name? Wilson Klimchuk. 5'11" centerman, already a 3rd-line scoring forward, 5-star shooting, 87 offensive awareness, all the other normal franchise-type player things with usually about mid to high 80s for most attributes. Good for the Blues. Let me see what else we can find on the find trade screen now for some of these expiring contracts. Alexandre Barré-Boulet off to the Edmonton Oilers, possibly for that 220th pick that we just traded away, or we could get a 7th-round pick from the Flyers next year, and there's a couple other 7s, but I don't know. If I need to trade some picks for next year's picks because I'm not happy with the draft, I'll do that later. For now, I'll get as many picks for this draft as possible. So Barré-Boulet also off to the Oilers for the 220th selection in the draft. Also, no trades found for Brandon Tanev, but I'm sure there will be some for Mason Shaw and probably Jesse Ylönen as well. Yeah, pretty much all the same offers now. A 7th from Carolina or Tampa, or the next year from the Flyers, Petrie from the Canadiens, and Jerry from the Panthers. So let's just get the next best here to the Lightning. Mason Shaw, another original Seattle Kraken, our expansion draft pick from the Minnesota Wild. Just no room for him. He should be in the NHL. We're barely fitting Ryan Suzuki in there. Shaw, there's just no room. He's a great playmaker. He was amazing in our Minnesota Wild franchise mode in NHL 21. But off to the Lightning, I wish you I always say I wish you all the best, but for Mason Shaw, I truly wish the absolute best for him. And last but not least here, Jesse Ylönen. As an 80 overall, though, with medium top line, I'm not sure why Shaw didn't get as many offers. Maybe because as Ylönen an RFA, I'm not sure. But a few, actually 46 offers coming our way now. Best offer coming from the Florida Panthers, as they're offering us picks number 143 and 207, a 5th and a 7th for Jesse Ylönen. So off to the Florida Panthers. Thank you for your time here, Jesse. And there's the Kings selection, 80 overall, medium elite playmaker, Vladimir Prokhorkin, as he is 87 passing. Yeah, solid 80 overall prospect for them. And the last one I'll look at here, you know what, if anybody wants Philip Gustafsson, I'll be happy to trade him. He has some value. 89 overall goaltender. Who doesn't want his rights, eh? Because I am not going to be able to re-sign him, that's for sure. But get a couple 4th there. I can't really take on much more. The Oilers are just throwing picks out the window for anyone that can get their hands out here. A couple 4ths from the Devils. 4th and a 5th there from the Sharks. It could go 2 4ths, one this year, one next year from the Hawks. But the 3rd and the 4th makes the most sense. So unless Lacroix here is a great rookie with low top 6 potential, I'll go for the 3rd and the 4th from the Oilers, who are just willing to do anything. 67, low top 6, 3rd round pick grinder. If it was NHL 21, maybe, but I'll take the 3rd and the 4th. 3rd, 4th, and we'll see if we can get that 7th as well next season for Philip Gustafsson. To the Oilers, nope, does not work. So I'll just do my usual swapping 7ths here. We have a bunch of picks now in this year's draft, which is exactly what we want. I'm sure we'll get some more once we make some more trades, once we're done drafting all the players that we want to draft. There we go. Philip Gustafsson off to the Edmonton Oilers. He came in that package when we sent Philip Grubauer to the Ottawa Senators. Played pieces of 3 or 4 seasons here. Was one of the the co-recipient of the Jennings with Peyton Wilm. Didn't get much playoff action. Has a Stanley Cup ring, and now wants way too much money. So we'll have to move on from him. So with all that being done now, we can start simming a few more picks just for fun before we make a trade. High top 4D, yikes, going to the Flames, because after that, high top 6 forward, yikes, 67. Because then after that, the Wild take, whoa, again, high top 4D. These players are slipping big time. The Penguins at pick number 6 are now going to get a medium elite sniper, another Crosby maybe, or a medium elite offensive defenseman, or another medium elite sniper. My goodness. Phew. The Penguins just getting having a fall in their laps there, and they take medium elite Lundberg, medium elite offensive defenseman Simon Lambert. Good for them. The Red Wings will probably get that forward, Crosby. Yeah, 80 overall medium elite two-way forward going at pick number 7. Then a 79 overall medium elite sniper going at pick number 8. Medium top 6 going to the Rangers at number 9, and medium top 6. Okay, now we're into the medium top 6s. So for our draft here, as I said, there are some players I already pinned in the watch list. The first guy that we want to try and get is Rickard Bergenheim from Finland. Let's go. Come on, menu. Come on, menu. There we go. From the SHL, he is a Finnish prospect, 6 foot, two-way forward, low elite, and is NHL ready, which is always nice. Has A's for a lot of these skills, which is pretty crazy to see. So let's try trading up to maybe around 22, 23, 24. See who wants to trade their pick there, since we have a little bit to play around with now. Let's go to the Flyers and try to make the pick at number 22. Hey, it's meant to be. We love 22. So how interested are they? Probably not, but just how interested in a 3rd, 2 5th, and a 7th for that pick? Yeah, woefully insufficient. That's all I wanted to know. This is where we can probably start thinking about throwing in some prospects here. Who are some unsigned guys we may not be using? Moss, Piper, these are some good ones. Niittymaki, 68 at 20 years of age. He was, what, like a 3rd round pick? Timo Niittymaki, 2nd round pick. Sniper. I like Timo Niittymaki. Just not the greatest growth. 22 points in an A+ league. Now, he'll be in the AHL next season. We'll keep Niittymaki for now. I have some hope for Niittymaki. But Curry and Teuton, probably not going to work out for them. If Philly can take on the contracts, yeah. So a couple low elite prospects with a 3rd, a 5th. That might be enough. 96, 156, and 2 low elite prospects. Quite far off. My apologies. Does another 5th do anything for you? Pick number 143. A bit off in value. Okay, run out of time. Let's see who the Sharks take. With the 11th overall pick. Oh, 79 overall, medium top 6. Pfft, that hurts the Rangers and the Ducks, that's for sure. Let's try this again. We'll just go 96 this year, 3rd from Dallas next year, and the 2 low elite prospects. Trade accepted. Thank you very much, Philadelphia. I will use that selection to take another low elite prospect at pick number 22. You know we love 22. Any other big prospects going here? Overall seem pretty consistent here in the 60s. 72 overall there. Eichel going to the Canadians. Yeah, he was a 1-year away prospect, so it makes sense. But this prospect is NHL ready. Should be in the mid to high 70 overalls. We're reaching by a couple picks, but not a bad thing, because I want to make sure he does not go early. Two-way forward from Finland. Let's head up to the podium. With the 22nd selection in the 2026 NHL entry draft, the Seattle Kraken are proud to select from Team Eek of the SHL, Rickard Bergenheim. Welcome to Seattle, Bello. He is 78 overall. There he is. Very, very nice for the 22nd overall pick. Hey, look at that. Some X Factor superstar abilities to boot. Yoink, shutdown in reverse, and beauty backhand. 3-star shooting, 3-star puck skills, 3 stars all around pretty much. 3.5 skating, 2.5 physical. Pretty solid, well-rounded, not lacking anywhere, not a wonky prospect. I'm very pleased with that. Rickard Bergenheim, welcome to the team, my friend. Now the next pick will be going after Calle Lundberg which we might be able to get with our 32nd pick. We didn't have to give up our other first in that deal, which is very, very good. Will we be able to go after him at 32? He's going to go at 32. Maybe trading up 1 or 2 wouldn't be a bad idea. The Hurricanes want to trade their pick, so maybe they might not be happy with us right now, but I wouldn't mind just giving them a 7th to guarantee that we get Lundberg. So here's 32 and 220 just to move up to 31. Trade accepted. Thank you, Carolina, doing me a solid. Let's go to pick number 31 now, and there we go. Thankfully, he's still there. He probably would have been there at 32, but no need to take any risks here. So back to the podium we go. He is NHL ready, medium top 4D, 18 years of age, similar to PK Subban, lots of A's, decent stats, pretty solid stats for an A+ league, playing a lot of minutes. Let's hit it. With the 31st overall selection in the 2026 NHL entry draft, the Seattle Kraken are proud to select from Linköping HC of the SHL, Calle Lundberg. The Swede himself, welcome to Seattle, 76 overall. That's what we like. I wouldn't really, well, I wouldn't want. I would have been a bit, well, no, again, not upset. I would have been a bit I don't know what we're going to do if I got another 80 overall pushing to make the NHL. 76 is great. Let him grow in the NHL for another year or two. Even though he's NHL ready, that doesn't mean we know he's playing in the NHL. It means that he's going to be a higher overall, and that's what we want. 3 X factors to boot: the superstar abilities, elite edges, thunderclap, and seeing eye. 3-star shooting, 83 offensive awareness, and pretty well-rounded once again in all those categories. 88 speed and acceleration. Great. First couple picks are slam dunks in my opinion, and the 32nd pick there to the Hurricanes ends up being, whoa, yikes, 60 overall, medium top 6D. Ouch. Okay, let's see, where's our next pick that we want to make? Lots of good prospects here for sure. Top 4 Ds, top 6 forwards, but we can't take anyone and everyone. Low elite 2-way D there, Rolison is probably the most tempting, especially being 17 and 6'5", 3 years away at 17 as well. Oh, that is so tempting. Because I want to make, that would be a great pick at 41 or whatever, but then I also want to, there's a low elite 2-way forward centerman here in Isaiah Booz of the London Knights. And then there's another goalie in the early 60s. A couple medium elites there. So can't take everyone, but Rolison looks great, especially if he's going to have X factors as a low elite. In the early 40s, let's see there. If this is 33 and 10 picks or so, 40, I don't know. Let's see. Would that be too late? 41, 40. He'd probably be gone by then. We'd have to trade with the Penguins at round 2, pick 6, and then make a little bit of a reach. But now we'd be losing out on some trade value, on pick value, because if we trade these picks early, I don't know, because I want to make that pick at 64 for that goalie. I guess we could give up 89, and we can give a couple 6ths as well with a lot of 6ths. 5th, excuse me. So 89, 156, and 160 in exchange for 38. Does that get us even close? Not really. Back to the rookie skaters here. 64 at 19 for Kozevnikov here. Those good old cause and effect. 6'5", 4th round defensive D. So we'll be getting a better 6'5" defensive defenseman prospect if we move out Kozevnikov and go for Rolison. He's not a bad prospect. Low top 4 D potential. Just I guess hasn't grown that much. Anyone else we could dump instead? Lyles here, medium top 9. He was a 3rd round pick, a sniper, but just hasn't. Oh my goodness, look at those stats though in the OHL. 47 goals and 95 points, Leonard Lyles. So they should be happy to get this prospect. So I'm giving them a good prospect. I'm not trying to gyp them here. The Penguins are getting a good prospect with the 3rd and the 2 5ths, but they still don't want to do it. Maybe I'll take out a 5th at that point. A 3rd, a 5th, and 2 prospects. Trade accepted. Yeah, good thing I took that out. So Penguins, be happy. You got a good haul there. A couple of solid prospects, but I know that we're going to get a good player here at 38. Good prospect when there. Medium top 6, 74 overall. 71 medium top 4 D there. But with the 38th overall selection now, we'll go ahead and make a little bit of a reach, but I think it'll be worth it. Hopefully he has X factors, but it'll be an upgrade on the defensive defenseman in our system. 17-year-old who's 3 years away, so probably already the same overall, but 2 years younger as Kozevnikov. From the USA West, maybe from Seattle, local boy, Caleb Rolison, 62 overall, low elite 2-way D, and yes, there it is. Yoink, send it in reverse and back at ya. zone ability, and superstar ability. Lovely. Very, very nice. Still a long way away, but at 17 to have all that going for him, that is fantastic. So let's start simming to, I don't know if I want to sim all the way to 64, because I definitely want to get one of those medium elite goalies, but I don't want to miss one of them. Not sure which one I want to go after between Malihi and Pitkanen. That's tough because they're both 18, but Malihi's 4 years away and Pitkanen's 5 years away. That's why I'd probably give the edge to Malihi. Similar numbers despite Pitkanen playing in a tougher league. Slightly better for Malihi, but makes sense playing in Switzerland as a Swiss player. I'll see if I can trade for 59-60, and I'll probably try and get Ian Malihi if possible. Alright, so I'll see if Dallas wants to give me Edmonton's pick at number 57 in exchange for 64, and I'll throw in a 5th. Is that enough here? Just a 5th round pick? Bang! You didn't have to give the 6th. Fantastic. Wonderful. Thank you, Dallas. So we'll go to pick number 57 and select that goaltender. Still there. Lovely. He'll be in the system 4 years away, so hopefully a future backup, and maybe, you never know what happens. It's good to have good prospects in the system. Even if we have 3 or 4 elite goalies, some of them get traded, some of them don't work out. No problem with taking a few. My problem is when you start taking 3 elite goalies every single draft, and then you have 20 goalies in your system, and other teams literally have 2, and they're starting 60 overalls. But I digress. Drafting out of Switzerland. Rare to see a Swiss player ranked this high, so that's fantastic. Medium elite, Ian Malihi. Welcome to Seattle. 18 years of age, 57 overall. Not too shabby. Looking forward to seeing him grow and hopefully doing good things here for the franchise. Moving now, our next pick is only at 143. I don't think there's a lot of players between now and 143 that we want. There's a few players in the 200s and stuff like that. So looking at our pinned players now. So we already took some of them. Unpinned Pitkanen, so just looking at the pinned players. There was Cody Cameron here at 70, low top 4D, and 3 years away, which is great at 17 years of age. But we already took Rolison there, the 6'5" defensive defenseman with the low elite potential. So not going to get another similar player like that. So Cody Cameron, although he's great, I'm not going to be able to trade up for another, 3rd round pick when we're really starting to not have a lot of value to trade with anymore. Grigorenko, would be nice to get another low elite goalie in the system, but again, not a lot to trade with, so I'm going to go ahead and unpin Grigorenko as well. The next selection will be Nelson Oliver. I was going to say Olivier. Nelson Oliver at 141, who's also a gem and low elite. Once again, a defensive defenseman, so that's why I don't really want to trade for Cameron. So at 143 now, round 5, pick 15. We'll go ahead, probably a bit of a reach. I know there's 2-bar low elite here. VG, that possible player. There's a few top, a couple bars there, a couple bars medium elite here and there. But I'll go ahead and take the pinned player. Man, I'm really not thinking. Oh, man, at 141, Oliver goes. What am I doing to the Canadians? 54 overall, low elite. Nothing special about him. Not like it's a huge loss. It's just that's good trade value. 54 overall, 18. I'm not gonna talk myself out of the pick because that's exactly who I was about to take. But just it's nothing crazy that we're missing out on. But by 2 picks, that's a bit of a buzz. Laurent Vigier from the Victoriaville Tigers. I guess maybe we'll take him with 2 bars low elite. Take a little risk. Or we could take this guy 3 bars low top 6, Derek Pronger. Yeah, that makes more sense. Derek Pronger from the Calgary Hitmen of the WHL. Low top 9. Unfortunate. Let's go to pick number 153. A few more picks left in this draft, so let's just go after our players now. I tried one of those picks there on Pronger. Didn't work out. Let's just go, take out not the scout recommendation, but the pinned. First one's going to be Pasi Lume, low elite, 3 bars low elite, 19 years of age from the SHL, another Finnish player, a sniper. And his potential comes through. Low elite, 67 overall, not too shabby, but 19 years of age is the tough part. We'll have to, 80 shooting accuracy, which is nice. We'll just have to deal with that. And our last selection in this draft most likely will be the last pick of round number 6. Once again, going to our pins, and we'll take Tate Jacobs, an American playing with the Barrie Colts. 3 bars, low elite. Again, possibly a defensive defenseman. 20 years of age, so likely never going to make it at this point, but with the potential if it's there. And yes, it is. Low elite, 56 overall, and an enforcer. Okay, enforcer. 2-star physical. 82 shot blocking. 86 wrist shot power. Yeah, unlikely that he makes the NHL, but Always good for some trade value. We have a couple picks left in this draft now here in this 7th round. I'm not sure if there's anybody else we want to be going after. 2-bar starter for a goalie. 2-bar medium elite we could take a risk on at $8.95. Billy Boys, 6'5", 20 years of age. Then there's an Italian, Wes Staples, 1-bar medium elite. Then there's a couple couple bars low elite. 2 bars medium top 6. I'm not sure if I want to take these risks here. Desharnais. There's a guaranteed low top 6. You know what? I'll go with the guarantee. Nothing wrong with going with a guarantee here. Esa Vananen, 17 years of age as well. That's a solid pick. Ranked at 329. Yeah, I'll take that. 49 overall for sure, but I'll take that potential and that age. Lots of time to grow. Okay, I'll do that. No problem with me. And pick number 216, I will trade for a 7th round pick next year. Okay. Oh, no, hold on. Wait, yes. My brain went in a few places there. So I give Arizona my 7th right now. I get a 5th next season, and the rights to Sami Vatanen, who I'm just going to let go in free agency because I don't want him. So don't mind if I do. I'll take a 5th round pick for that. And now we have another pick at 217. I didn't want this one either, so I'll dump this one. Nobody wants to trade me any picks, so I'll just go to, I don't know, a team like Montreal and get their 7th next year. There you go. What do you say, Montreal? Trade rejected. My apologies. Ottawa. Come on, Ottawa. Trade accepted. Thank you very much. I had to find a team that was a buyer and not a seller. And with that pick, the Senators select a low top 6D. Lovely. So there is the draft, my friends. Quite the draft. Let's recap what we did. Look into the, here it is. Bergenheim, the two-way forward. Lundberg, the offensive defenseman. Rolison, the defensive defenseman. Malihi, the goalie. Then Pronger, Lume, Jacobs, and Vananen. Players with good potential, minus Pronger with the low top 9. And a pretty solid draft, I do have to say. Traded away the rights to some players that we won't be re-signing. Got a good amount of picks for next year's draft as well. Always nice to be set up as much as possible. So for the unsigned prospects here, we can send out some contracts right away to some people who've been waiting to send something to, such as Moss here. Moss is someone who's, we'll see what his growth is like in the offseason. Chris Moss, he was a 2nd round pick in 2024, has 4.5-star shooting. He's probably going to be pushing for the NHL. It's going to be really tough to find room, man. But I can give him his entry-level deal here, and he's now 20 years of age. Bergenheim at 78 overall. I may as well sign him right now and get him into the AHL. If I don't know, I'm tempted to leave him unsigned, but he is a first-line AHLer, maybe the NHL already. So I think it's going to help his growth if we just sign him now. No need to just leave him unsigned. Aside from that, I'm not sure about Lundberg. Morrison, I think if we sign him, he has to go to junior still. Kobasu will definitely sign. He was a 2nd round pick with those X factors. Low elite, 73 overall. He has grown nicely the last few seasons. Now he's going to be an expiring UFA if we don't sign him. Niittymaki and Kartinen will probably get them signed as well, but we'll have some time to think about that. Any goalies who are unsigned, Bladder's going to have to get signed. 59 overall, medium elite. And we'll probably let one of the other goalies go. We were playing with Primo and Tarasov in the AHL last year. All right, so those offers being sent out, we can advance a day now, just so we can get into the re-sign phase. Associate coach in the AHL, his contract running out. Some scouts I'll have to re-sign as well, so I'll take care of that in a moment. But now we're actually moving into the re-sign phase, which allows us to release some players we don't want to keep. We can get rid of guys like Sami Vatanen right away. Looking at all expiring. Going to the bottom here right away. We know that Sami Vatanen can be let go. What kind of contract would he want? I'm just curious. 1.5. Yeah, so Sami Vatanen, release him. Also can go ahead and release another original Kraken from the Pittsburgh Penguins, Brandon Tanev. Nobody wanted him. We re-signed him the last couple of years to be 13th forward, but he ended up getting pushed down and just played a full season in the AHL last year. 28 points in 82 games. But with Seattle, he scored 33 points in 146 games. Nothing crazy for a 4th liner. Never played higher than the 4th line, really. A few games in the 3rd line, I guess. But it's passable. We'll take his contributions. He was always an 80, 81 overall. Did his job. Can't complain. So congrats to Brandon Tanev. I wish you the best, as always, moving forward in your career. But we're going to have to let you go, my friend. Now it just comes down to the bigger names, mostly the RFAs. We do have quite a bit of cap space, close to $30 million. If we're going to re-sign Jaden Schwartz, yeah, you know what? This is a reasonable deal. 86 overall. Yeah, he's going to drop in overall. He's at 34 years of age, but we're going to be playing him as a 3rd line guy. I'm not going to send out any offers for actual roster players now. I'll save that for your suggestions in the next one, even if it might be clear. We can get him at 1 year, 4.325 basically, and 2 years wouldn't be much more if we wanted that, but 4.3 whatever for 1 year, that'd be cheaper than what he was costing us already. Vinny Trocheck, if we did 1 year on him as well, it would be 4.675, 4.7. Third line center who's been point a game pretty much aside from last season, the last 4 years. I'd be okay with keeping Vinny Trocheck there as well. It does hurt Ryan Suzuki. He's now at an 80 overall. He wants 1.625. We could get him maybe semi-long-term-ish. Dawson Mercer could be in for a solid contract if we're going to be keeping him as a winger moving forward. Get to do a few years of him. Rolison, again, we spoke about him earlier. What's going to be up with him? But we could go 3 years of RFA status for like close to $1.5 million. And of course, David Jiricek, 82 overall. He might be ready for his big boy contract. We can go 2 years of RFA, 1 or 2 years. Or we can think about something like, a solid 5, 6, 7, 8 year deal, but that would be really banking on growth, and defensive growth is tough in NHL 22. I'd be probably more comfortable with, if we went UFA, a 5 or 6 year deal as opposed to a 7 or 8. But again, we can get him for that mid $4 million-ish price tag if we're going for that. So a few things to keep note of there. For the goaltenders, Ben Bishop, we want to get him on the league minimum if possible. Yes, that's exactly what we'll do. Danil Tarasov, we're going to let him go, even though he has a backup potential. He's been good in the AHL. We are going to have Bladder coming in as the medium elite prospect doing backup in the AHL. So thank you for filling the role there, Danil, for a little bit. Primo will play 1 more season and then probably move on as well, as we have other prospects beginning to make it up in the system. But I'll go ahead and leave you off there, my friends. It's not really the money problem, it's the roster space issue. So in the next episode, we'll take care of some of the re-sign phase. Probably not much to do in free agency. Sim through the off-season, and then also take care of the preseason. So then going into 2 episodes from now, we can actually get into the 2026-27 regular season. So that just about wraps up this one, everyone. I know it's not Tuesday anymore, as this is uploaded on Thursday the 24th, but I hope you had a great Tuesday. Remember that 2 twos never lose here on episode 22 with the Seattle Kraken on NHL 22. Heading into the 2026 off-season, we'll take care of all that stuff in the next episode based on your suggestions. It's really just going to come down to some lineup issues. Even though we're going to have money to spend in free agency, is that the move now that we have Alex Tuch? Probably not. Here are some potential expiring contracts for players who will be around in free agency if you want to take a pause and see any of those names as I run through those. But looking forward to your thoughts here on YouTube, down in the comments, or over in the Discord server. Link in the description for that. I'll take care of re-signing all the scouts and all that stuff so that we can just sim through the next one as quickly as possible and see the offseason growth, see the preseason, and go from there. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch. If you enjoyed this draft, there's a pretty solid one. Be sure to leave a like and do consider subscribing, as you'll be made aware of all the uploads here on the channel, NHL 22 franchise mode, FIFA 22 career mode, and data casts in general, but a new datacast series coming soon that I've been working on. Very excited to get into that. It's going to be not really podcast style, I'm just talking, but a bit more research based and going through some of the I'll just leave it at that. More research based, maybe more video essay style, but I'll leave it there. Thank you for taking the time to watch. Great off season. Let's keep pushing for the three-peat, and I'll see you in the next one.